Okay.
Nice.
Listen up, bitch. I'm about to sing you a song. I said, listen up, bitch. Now get along. Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. Does that sound like Elvis?
Welcome back to the We Don't Suck podcast, episode 81. It's your boys,
Whoa!
Rav and Bill. Here we are.
Back to kill with daffodils. I'll grab your twill. Massive spill. Shout out BP.
From your plastic quill.
I might just stab my kilt.
I'm flaccid still.
Blappin' blill.
Feeling like Master Pill.
I truly do be on this rappin' hill.
Alright, so Bill, how's it going, man? You finally had your surgery?
Oh, yeah, dude, it feels good. I got a big old Android leg. It goes
Finally, man.
Like that.
Long time coming, you know?
Yeah, finally, dude. Finally. Yeah, the surgery went pretty good, though. I won't lie. They only had to take out like half of my leg.
Good.
You know. Yeah, I learned what they did. Because they said it was like a screw, but it's not actually a screw. They put a plate in, and
and what did they put on that plate? Some rice and beans, you know?
Okay.
Okay, I just be joking.
Hey man, bring it in. Bring it in. Hey, can I talk to you on the side real quick?
Yeah, what up,
just,
man? What's going on, man?
Yeah, dude. Okay. Like I know that this is all like fun and games and stuff, but don't fucking talk about my leg like that. Okay? Like this has been real hard for me, and you're just sitting here talking about
Joe leg?
Yeah, just don't fucking do that. Okay? We've been through this, you know.
I don't get it.
I've been laid up in bed, just like super depressed, playing fucking Death Stranding for the past like 3 days. All I have is this, you know.
Sounds like
I'm not gonna let you.
Man. Like I'm not trying to
listen.
be mean,
I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna fucking listen. I'm not gonna let you come on here and make fun of me in front of all these people who take me very seriously. Okay, I work for a living. I pay my taxes. Okay, unlike some people, you know.
Okay.
I think this is implying you don't pay taxes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead. I do apologize for.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah.
The rest of the podcast is gonna be me talking like this.
You go for it, man. Fuck it.
Yeah, I just think that I just gotta vent to you about some stuff, man. Because every time we come on here, it's like you think it's a big joke.
Yeah.
Oh, look his leg. Oh, look, there he goes. One leg Bill is what you say under your breath.
I say it out loud, and I scream it at you across the street.
Yeah. But you also say it under your breath before you say it. You say it, you're kind of like, one leg Bill, one leg Bill, one leg Bill, you know?
I do that with all the words I say in my life.
Yeah,
this one
so
included.
I'm gonna need you to shut the fuck up, bro, because this isn't working out, you know?
Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
I can't believe this is the last episode of the podcast I'm doing, for sure. Like, for sure.
Well, I mean, it's, 81. Yeah. It's fitting, the year you were born, and it being the
year I
episode.
die.
No, it's going to be the last podcast that you do, is what I mean.
Oh, it's also the year that I die, too. In 2081 is when I'm going out.
Okay, cool. I'll put it in my calendar.
Yeah, you better.
It's already in there.
If you make it that long. Oh, okay. Oh, it was already good. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, well, yeah.
So, man, tell me everything, man. Yeah, I just wanted to talk to you and be like, upfront with you about all that. But yeah, what's going on with you, man? How are you doing? How are you?
Yeah, fuck your leg. So I'm good, man. I've been drawing.
Rav, can I talk to you for a second? Just to the side, real quick.
Yeah, man, what's up?
Okay, yeah, we literally just talked about this. The first thing you said after we got back on the podcast was fuck your leg. That's what you said to me, and I just wanted to just see where your head is at, because it's like my head is in a very different place than that. It had nothing to do with your leg. You know?
It had nothing to do with your leg. You know, I think you keep making the situation about yourself, but in reality, I was just thinking about something completely different, something else. You know, I was actually saying.
What made you say that?
Himmler.
Okay, go off. No, can you explain?
Don't like him.
Why'd you say his leg, though? Why'd you make fun of his leg?
Not making fun of his leg. I was like, fuck your leg. You know, if it was up to me.
Why his leg, though? Like, he has a whole body. Like, I'm pretty sure the leg isn't the one that killed all those people.
I mean, the jury's still out there on that, but...
Yeah, man. How are you doing? How are you,
yeah,
buddy?
So, this is the first podcast that we're doing where I have a new setup.
Oh, shit.
I'm using a different mic. I'm using the same microphone that we've used at the Game Grumps office. And so that's exciting.
I've never been there.
Okay, cool. It's just me and the boys. And then,
You've been impersonating me.
Yeah, and... Oh, yeah, I don't know, man. I've been kind of feeling a little down as of late. A little more down than usual. I don't know. I don't want to get into it too much. But I've been trying to work less or do a bit less to give myself some time to recover. Play games. I did some watercoloring today with my girl. That was very relaxing.
I've seen it.
Yeah, you
showed me that.
That's right.
It's beautiful. It's very stress relieving.
Thank you. 100%. So, yeah, man. I mean, I don't have an excuse like a broken leg or anything. It's just sometimes these bouts of depression just they come, you know. And
I feel like it's almost worse not having the excuse. Like, cause like me, I've been like sad, but I can be like, yeah, I have a broken leg, and so I can't do anything, and that's why I feel that way. But then like whenever I get in that headspace like you're at, then I'm like, I don't even have an excuse, and then I feel worse about it than I should, because it's a natural thing that 100%. Happens. But in my head, I'm always like, so what the fuck? The fuck? That's why I say when I'm depressed, I go, the fuck? Like that.
No, yeah, I don't have a stupid fucking broken shitty leg, you know, and...
Hey man, can I just pull you to the side?
Hey, what's up, Bill? What's up, man?
Fuck you. So how are you?
But besides that, everything's A-okay. I copped Dark Souls, the first one, for the Nintendo Switch last night, and that's been helping a lot, actually. It's crazy. It's like I've noticed that oftentimes when I'm not feeling very well, I retreat onto myself and return to Dark Souls or Dark Souls 3, you know?
It's because you have a dark soul, and you got to get that out of you.
Yeah, man. I think that's what it is. And so that's been fun. But yeah, I don't really have much to say. Tama is beautiful and amazing and cute, and watching him grow before my very eyes is a pleasure indeed. How are you, man? Tell me all about it.
Well, I wish I had a cat. I wish I had a cat like Tama that I could watch grow into a strapping young lad, you know?
Right.
But alas, I mean, things have been good on this end. Me and Joe are just like getting used to like living together, which has been nice, actually. Like, I mean, I feel kind of bad for her because I've been kind of needy lately because I've like not been walking very well, etc. So I feel kind of like
selfish prick.
Yeah, you know, yeah, I'm being real selfish. No, but like, I kind of feel like it's the thing that sucks about it is like we just had our 5-year anniversary, right? And I was so excited for it, and I wanted to go out and do something nice, but it was just like everything in the world kept us from doing that. It's like we couldn't go out to eat or go out to like see a movie or do just something like cute little date thing because of like the pandemic. And then like on top of that, my surgery was on our 5-year anniversary.
Right.
And it was just like, oh, fuck. So we're basically like planning to celebrate that later, but it just sucks, you know? It's like we like had planned. I always said that I was like on the 5-year, like we're gonna like really ball out and like have a good time and, you know, go do some shit. You know, like, I don't know, like I've never been the type that like goes out to like have like really expensive food or anything, because like I feel like if you, like for example, if you go have like a steak that's like $100, right? Okay, I feel like I'm not gonna be able to enjoy that steak because the whole time I'm sitting here thinking like, damn, this is $100, right? But like doing something like that, like one time, and like not giving a fuck about it. That was like what I wanted to do for the 5 years.
I got
But
you.
instead, we stayed in. We watched WWE Network. We watched some AEW because apparently now Jordan is just like the most avid wrestling fan of them all.
That sounds like a good time.
And it was a good time. It's what we do all the time anyway, but it was still nice. I liked it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
So-
I had my 5-year anniversary a few months back with my girl. And again, similar circumstances where because of the pandemic and the lockdown, not much we could do.
And your leg.
And my dumbass, idiotic, non-working leg. On the one hand, you know, you're like, oh, you know, well, maybe these dates are all arbitrary and just, you know, we attach sentimental value to things, but just as we can attach them to things, we can reattach them or like reallocate them. That being said, it's natural, you know, to kind of get sentimental around those times, and half a decade is a mighty long time in the context of a relationship, especially for, you know, young people. So
In rapper years, that's like a lifetime.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you could blow up, fucking fall off, become washed out, and, like nobody knows you anymore within the span of 5 years. But yeah, we ended up doing something sort of similar, you know, kind of celebrating it in the way that we found fitting within the means that were available to us.
Yeah. I feel that. That's good. What'd you guys end up doing?
To be absolutely honest with you, I can't recall because a few days later it's her.
Damn.
Because a few days
sorry.
later was her birthday, and it's usually, you know, the birthday is kind of a little more fresh on my mind. But I think what we
Yeah.
ended up doing is we cooked together. We made some like dope ass like set of meals, and I think we might have just played games together and watched either like, I don't know, some sort of movie or anime, I'm guessing, you know, because that sounds like it would be
Yeah.
a chill time, so that's very likely what we did.
I feel that, dude. I feel that. What do you guys been watching any anime recently?
Yeah, so yeah, she's been mostly rewatching a whole lot of stuff. You know, she has her go-to things that she returns to for comfort, and sometimes I'll be looking up and like watching it along with her while I work. So, you know, the series that she always comes back to for comfort are Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Mushishi. And so these are the kinds of series she'll return to over and over and over again and binge them.
Right.
And she just wants to have that sense of comfort and just be chill. Aside from that, in terms of new ones, there's this one made by the same dude who made Soul Eater, but he did it for Shonen Jump, and it's like
It's Asshole Eater.
they're firefighters, sort of, you know, but like magical ones. And we've only seen a few episodes, but we've enjoyed that. There's a bunch of other series that I don't remember the names of that we're waiting on more episodes to to come out.
Yeah.
I think we're probably gonna rewatch Sakura Quest because that's something we watched somewhat recently. I think we might have watched that on our anniversary, and that was really tight. I liked it. It's really cool. I recommend it. And so yeah, I don't know, man. Like, also we're rewatching the Lord of the Rings Extendo edition.
Yeah, the big blunt
We're on-
version.
we're on
that
Return of
okay?
the
Was
King.
that triggered by the podcast episode? Was that like what set you off, like the itch to watch that, or what?
We were already doing it, so we had already
Just in a
started
constant
then.
state of that.
Yeah,
you're always watching it.
Yeah, exactly. We had already started it. So usually what happens is like I'll play that, we'll watch that, then we'll stop at some point and be like, all right, she's gonna play Animal Crossing or Breath of the Wild, and I'll be playing Dark Souls 3 or Breath of the Wild or Dark Souls. And so we've
Right.
been doing that and sort of bouncing between Breath of the Wild, Dark Souls, and Lord of the Rings is really fun because there's a lot of common elements. You know, a lot of Dark Souls and Zelda have a lot of Tolkien-inspired elements to it, to them.
Yeah, you know, Zelda's got pointy ears.
Yeah, man. You know, imagine Zelda but a girl, right? That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Zelda also has pointy ears, though.
Yeah, well, there's no humans in Hyrule, I don't think.
I mean, they could be. They could be humans.
They're Hylian, right? So Hylians just have those pointy ears and capacity to propagate magic. So kind of like
I had this like
weaker elves.
I had this whole argument with a friend one time when we were younger, because I've always said Hylian or Hylian, right?
Yeah, that's right. Same
but
energy.
like his older brother always like said things wrong. He was 10 years older than us. Like, for example, let me give you a good one. Like Final Fantasy VIII, one of the Guardian forces was named it was Minotaur and Sacred, but he just read it as scared, and he like never fixed it. Like he would always say scared, and and his little brother, my friend, would always say whatever his big brother said because his big brother could do no wrong, right?
Of course.
And I got in this like heated debate when I was like 8 years old because I was like saying Hylian and then he was saying Hyrulean, and I was just like, I mean, that sounds like it would make more sense, but like it's definitely like if you look at it, there's no like R or U in Hylian, you know? And then he was just like, no, that's just how you say it. Another one that he said was instead of I actually got this wrong for a long time, like skulltula, like specific tarantula, but like a skull. Like he used to just say, and his brother used to just say skull tolls. That was one of them. And that one, like, I still kind of say that like jokingly, like I'd be like, oh my god, it's a skull toll, you know, because. But there's just like no effort in that one. It's just you're just like fuck it.
Yeah.
Skull toll.
So
Yeah, dude. So yeah,
now that
Hyrulean. Sorry.
Now that I think about it, now that I think about it, are there humans in Zelda? Actually,
I don't think so. I think that it's just. I mean, I think it's implied that like the Hyruleans, the Hylians,
yeah, are basically the closest.
I'm gonna say it like Helians because it sounds funnier.
Okay.
Helians, like almost like I'm like Russian or something. I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
Helian. Helium. Our helium friends. I think they're like the closest thing to humans. Right.
And what is Zelda? She's supposed to be a Hylian, but spoilers, she's also Sheik, right? And isn't Sheikah a Sheik of the Sheikah race? So
I don't know. I always like thought that the Sheikas were like Hylians, but
just like
it was kind of like I thought it was like being Jewish. Like it's not necessarily a race, but more of like
Gotcha. That could
you
make
know what
sense.
I mean? Like like your mother was Jewish, so you're Jewish. I always thought that it was like that.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I don't know exactly how that works. But like when you look at, I just don't see the difference in between like Impa from Ocarina of Time. Like how is she any different than any other Hylian? Other than the fact that she's just tall.
Yeah, because Impa is also like a Sheikah, right? So
yes,
and Sheik identified as a Sheikah too. So I think you're right about the whole Jewish thing. And then I like Gerudos a lot.
Yes,
because I like how they're like a female dominant race, and every fucking male that's ever born is basically like a calamity, essentially. You know, like Ganondorf is like, he's a prophesized being, right? And if I recall correctly, I mean, I've got lore books on Zelda, like I have shelf stuff with it, so I ought to look through that to confirm it, but he's like, you know, which always made me wonder, like, how do Gerudos procreate, you know, given that.
Yeah, I was about to go into that, because like, does that imply that like whoever the male is just fucks a lot?
I don't
like
think
the queen,
so.
but reversed?
I wonder if it's more so that they just like they just give birth naturally, like
we're about to find out.
You know,
how do Gerudos reproduce? Hold on,
because I just assumed that
you read it.
I assume they just give birth. Like there's like some of them who are blessed to give birth, and they are more likely to give birth to girls.
Hold on. Apparently, this is the deal. So someone asks on Reddit, how do Gerudos reproduce if they're all female? Nabooru shows affection to Link during the Spirit Temple, giving the idea that Gerudos show interest in men. But if they are a full female race, how do they reproduce? A male Gerudo is born every 100 years, yet it is never shown who Ganondorf's parents are. Just a shower thought. Any theories? And then someone said, one of the gossip stones outside of the Temple of Time said they often come to the Castle Town Market looking for boyfriends. So I think what it is that like Gerudos aren't really like, they're still like in the same like line of like the Hylians, but they just happen to only give birth to females, and those females will be like Gerudos.
That's curious, because don't Gerudos, outside of Ganondorf, don't Gerudos have like... now that I think about it, in Breath of the Wild, they did have pointy ears. I don't know. For some reason, I kind of recalled certain Gerudos not having pointy ears, which made me think, oh, well... I
always just like imagine them being like Romanians or something. Like the equivalent of like they're like humans.
Yeah.
And they look just like everyone else, but it's like a different race
definitely
of
the
people.
Closest race to Hylian that I can think of.
Yeah, but I mean, if it says that, and I mean, obviously this is just like one variant of this timeline, but like if the Gossip Stone says that, like implies that they come to the town market to fuck, then like they probably just fuck, get the seed, and give birth to a woman, and then like it's just very insular. They probably don't marry. They probably just like get their freak on and leave.
I think you're probably right. But yeah, so basically I've been playing Breath of the Wild a lot with my girl because it is my I think it's probably my favorite. I consider that like as arguably the best game of all time. And I have a few in that top 5 for me that kind of rotate. I haven't played Resident Evil 4 properly in a while because I would prefer to play the Nintendo Wii version, and I don't have my Wii anymore. But that was like...
Get over it. Get yourself a Wii.
I think I might just to play that again, because I have it on, you know, I have so many other versions of Resident Evil 4, but that's the one I prefer personally. And of course Dark Souls is up there, so I keep playing that too. So it's been really fun, and just kind of in between time, me and my girl oftentimes we just kind of discuss the differences, like Lord of the Rings, between the books and the movies, and just like, oh, do you think when he said that, do you think he knew, and blah blah, just because there's so much that you can extrapolate from you know what occurs in throughout Lord of the Rings that is not spelled out for you, but you can like, this is, and they knew, and this is like representation of this, that, and the third, and it's cool, man. I enjoy that, because it takes me out of like the whole like, oh, we need to edit this, that, and the third, and you know, I need to record this, and because that, it's, you know, like for instance, people probably don't know this, but you know, I don't know if we've talked about having an editor now. We have Mitch.
Oh God, Mitch. Every time we mention Mitch, we have to play a weird sound effect, and which I will add in.
Oh, perfect. Yes. So no, and Mitch has been super helpful with a lot of the editing work, but I still also edit quite a bit because we can't really hire Mitch full time just yet because again, YouTube isn't a very profitable thing in terms of what we're doing and our audience. So until we have a Patreon video that's out there and a Patreon account set up, we probably will have to go back and forth. So for instance, I edited the Fortnite videos. I've edited some of the upcoming videos, and he's edited some of the upcoming videos, and he did Animal Crossing and Super Mario World and all that. And I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, I was thinking about it. I was like, man, we're burning through our reservoir, and it's stressing me out because I feel like I'm not streaming enough, but I don't feel like, I'm not sure whether we'll have enough stuff for daily content. At the moment, I find it hard to find time to edit some of that stuff, plus the Patreon video, plus trying to work on my album. I've given myself a goal to try to be done with my album this summer, you know? And
yeah.
And it's very stressful because I'm finding it difficult to do so. And yeah, so that's why when I talk with my girl about, like, you know, this fantasy stuff and just contemplating the lore and things like that, it takes my mind elsewhere. It gives me a break from that, which I think I need a lot.
You can't, I was gonna say, you can't live in that, because like no matter what you do, you could be like fucking the most like proficient when it comes to making stuff, editing stuff, making your own stuff, and like no matter what, that itch isn't gonna be fully scratched either too. Like no matter what you do, there's always gonna be something else to do, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially because we have personal lives. As I said, I live with my girl. We've lived together for 5 years, and trying to maintain a personal life whilst also trying to work on, you know, my music, but also do all this extra stuff like streaming and doing the Let's Plays and editing, which was supposed to be extra stuff, and it's supposed to be fun. And it is, for the most part, but it is also just so time consuming, and it can be stressful. And so I just look forward to getting to a point where we can automate the process a little bit more, where we can,
of course,
we can pay Sharky to do all the thumbnails.
The Patreon would streamline that process a lot, because it's kind of like you can just delegate, and it's not
exactly
as much of it's not much of a stress on you to like micromanage all these like little tiny things, when it could just be, oh, we record this, oh, like this person works on this thumbnail, and it's just kind of like, that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, it's not like you're sitting there like worried, like, oh, is this gonna be perfect? Is this gonna, and like to an extent, I feel like you're probably still gonna be like that even when it is automated, just because I like know the type of person that you are, and I know that you have like a very big like attention to detail, like almost to the point where it bothers you. Like, I think that like there's gonna be some of that, but it'll be way lessened, and it won't be like, it won't be impacting your life in the way that it does now. You know
I think also part of that attention to detail comes from sort of still being involved. I want to kind of take a step back from being involved in the thumbnails in any way. I want to take a step back from being involved in the editing process and just kind of entrust Sharky and Mitch to do their things. But at the moment, we can't afford to hire them full time and such a way. And so yeah, I'm although I am stressed and I'm worn out, I'm trying to look towards that, you know, towards a point in time when we can do it, because the reality is, I think the personal life is the biggest thing that makes all of this extra stuff difficult, you know? When let's say when the Game Grumps started early on, I think John was editing a lot of the videos, and then I think Barry stepped in. And once Barry stepped in, once you have that person there on the team who's doing all of the editing, and all you have to focus on is the recording and just thinking for like where to take your brand or whatever, it lessens the sort of the weight of your responsibility. But then also they were able to pay Barry because the old YouTube model sort of allowed those kinds of channels to thrive monetarily. And plus, you know, both guys were already established figures online. And then Super Mega, I mean, they had throughout a lot of those moments, you know, whether they worked for Markiplier or the Game Grumps, they had a job. But before they got Justin on the team, when they edited their own stuff for a long time, it's almost like they didn't have personal lives, you know? They devoted themselves entirely to it. And we're starting off from a point where, you know, we're not we're not this well-oiled machine. We do have personal lives, so we can't just give it our all. And also, we don't have enough means right now to, like, coming from this channel to fund a full-time editor. And so that's why we're having to think of other ways, because we never looked at Chibi Chubby as something that, like, this is going to generate revenue and this is why we're doing it. It was more so like, this will be really fun. Obviously, it benefits us in ways like, you know, it gives us a more consistent presence online. But we never thought, like, this is going to be our big break. It was just, we thought it was fun. You know, it's just like, this is a fun thing to do because we're friends and we have the time.
Also, I just want to point out that, like, I know that I like listening to, I can't remember which episode it was, but it was of the Super Mega podcast, but it was them talking about when they didn't have lives. I think it was like maybe post, or maybe like right before Mark, or like maybe right after Mark. I can't remember exactly when they were talking about, but it was just like Matt and Ryan were just like hammering through videos,
like 2 videos a day or some shit.
I think it might have been after Mark. It's like when they were talking about, but it's weird because like they were talking about it in this very like nostalgic way, but I can also tell that like it's like one of those things that like you can tell that their lives were hell. You know what I'm saying? Like doing that all the time would probably be like hell, you know, too. But yeah, like I think the difference is between us and like the Grumps or Super Mega or anything, and not saying that those guys don't have other things other than this, like obviously they do, but I think that like we came into it from the perspective of like, okay, we have lives, we have like other goals that are more important, and
we
this
have
was supposed
music
to
careers.
be like that is way more important than me. Like I love this, but like if it was just like gun to your head, you had to pick one, like I would just very easily drop this for music, question. You know? Yeah. But I think that the difference is it's like we never had that like need to like, oh, we have to make our lives hell for this to work, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's like I wouldn't want to do that. Like I wouldn't ever want to like I'm passionate about it in the sense of like I like it. I like to sit down and watch the videos, and it makes me feel a certain way recording it, and also like just seeing the finished product is like very nice.
It's a nice time capsule for me. It's like, oh shit, like all these happy moments and everything. I remember when you know, Mitch was done editing the Super Mario World playthrough, our first sit down of the game, and I was in bed with my girl and I was playing Katamari on the TV, and I was playing it and I put my headphones on and I was listening to that Let's Play, and it was so much fun. It was so chill. I was having such a good time, and it reminded me of sort of how I put on Game Grumps or Man Ryan when I'm playing games too, you know, and just kind of put them in the background. And I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, this is serving me in a very similar way. Plus, it is a time capsule between, like, you know, me and my friend that just happens to sort of exist in a public space. But it's fun. Like playing the games and everything. It's almost like also gives me like a great excuse to hang out with you, even though we're like, thousands of miles apart. We get to hang out. So it definitely has so many benefits. It's just now finding a way to balance out the things that make it a bit difficult and make it a bit of a
but I think that it's just gonna take. I think honestly, like when that process is like initiated, and if it goes well, like I hope it goes well, but like if it goes well, I have faith that it would go well, but like that would make things a lot easier just on everyone like involved, and it'll be like, I think the idea of like having people that you can trust that can take those responsibilities. Sorry, I can't talk today. Having people that you can trust that can take those responsibilities away from you and you not be sitting here worried about it will be like so much better just for like you as a person, and also will be better for, I don't know, like I feel like I make my best music when I'm like on that edge of like feeling like, oh wow, I'm worthless, but like maybe it would be better for you because it's not good to just feel like that all the time. But I feel like that sometimes. That's like when I like feel like anytime I always have like that verse, like around that time. But yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I got distracted by my own ADD.
No. I everything you said, I 100% agree with. It's again, because I hope it doesn't come across as if, man, guys, this is a nightmare, and you're somehow responsible. No, it's just that this is fun, and sometimes
if you're
it's
watching
stressful.
this, fuck you.
It's just stressful to think about sometimes, like, you know me, I want to have a routine. I want it to be a daily output thing. But until we have the Patreon means of hiring Sharky and Mitch full time, it's just hard and it's stressful because I'm in my back of my mind. It's like, oh, we're gonna run out of stuff, and then we're gonna go back again to like irregular videos for a little while, and that's probably not the end of the world. That's not a bad thing, but somehow it's so stressful because you set out like that was kind of like the goal. The goal was like, oh, we're gonna go back. You feel like a failure, even though it's like, oh, who gives a shit? These are fucking Let's Play videos, right? But it does feel like somehow like you fail yourself more than anything, And so
I mean, I feel like you shouldn't look at it from that perspective. I think there's like a difference between you and me when it comes to these things, probably because I'm lazier than you are. But okay, for example, I don't know if I'm just, can I talk about the online show idea you had? Am I allowed to talk about that, or is that not?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Okay, well, like when you were talking about doing the show on Twitch and it ended up not working out, right? And
well, it didn't end up not working out. It basically, I scrapped it because I felt I was putting too much on myself, responsibility onto myself. And even though I spent some money like preparing things and logistically things looked possible and realistic, I was burnt out by the time we were ready to start making plans. It
didn't go, you couldn't put yourself through finishing it, which is fine. Okay, like that's like 100% fine. But what I was gonna say was I remember you in one of our like EXO calls, you like apologized to like me and Square about it, and I was just like sitting here like, why are you apologizing to us? Like, it was cool that you even like had the idea in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, there isn't like you're not letting us down. Like, it's okay, like it would have been cool. It would have been really fucking cool, but I wasn't like sitting here like, this is it, guys. Like, if this doesn't work out, I'm walking. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was never like, I wasn't even like sort of offended when you were like, okay, I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like I think that you put a lot of like responsibility on yourself in a sense of like you feel like you have to carry this load and like make it happen, and like it's okay if it doesn't sometimes because it's understandable. You know what I mean? Like it's I think that's it's fine to be human and not be like machine man all the time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because that's just like, that's stressful, you know?
It's just, I think every time we've gone out to LA and just seeing, you know, everyone within that circle, you know, whether it's like Aaron or Matt or Ryan or Danny, like, or Ross, just everyone's doing something, and they're doing so many things on top of other things, and those guys have the necessary connections, and they have network over a great many years. And it's not to say that we don't have a great network that we've built over time, but you know, we don't have that same kind of level of influence within the spheres that they exist in. We don't have the same means of, you know, income in the same kind of way at all, you know? And so I want to be as productive, and I want to be as free to express different creative impulses and ideas. And then, but because there is, you know, because of the, I don't know how to put it without sounding like I'm trying to make people pity us. It's not the case at all. It's just, we just don't have the same financial means. So therefore I end up putting all the work on myself. And I don't have someone I can delegate things to. You know, we don't have a social media person. We don't have marketing, advertisement person who specializes in that and reaches out to potential advertisers. And we don't have an accountant for the stuff that we're doing. You know, we don't have a lawyer for the stuff that we're doing. We don't have a full-time thumbnail artist or a full-time editor. And let alone full-time all these other things that I want to do and keep coming up with. And so it can be frustrating because I want to do all these things and I see how everyone else do it, and so it feels like, okay, hell yeah, I've got this idea, you know? And then reality is what it feels like is sometimes just like reality slaps me in the face and tells me like, slow down, you know, like.
Yeah, no, I also think another thing that like the Grumps and Super Mega and just pretty much everybody in that kind of circle over there has that we don't have, and this isn't, well, not that we don't have it, but it's just harder to actuate things, is they're a bunch of people who like live around each other, and when one person has an idea, there's a big chance that a lot of other people are going to be jazzed about it. And then it's a little different when, okay, for example, like let's say you wanted to throw a show on Twitch and have a bunch of different artists and a bunch of different like basically what you were talking about, like have a bunch of people of different, you know, speedrunners, etc., and make it like an online festival, right? So you're now working within, okay, I have to talk to this person at this time because that's when they're available in a different time zone, and I have to talk to them at this time and get this done, and I have to talk to this person who's like talent. You have to go talk to them at this time, which by the way, they sleep in until like 3 p.m. and also like they live on the other side of the world. Okay, so it's like now you have like those are 2 hours that you have that are very separate. It's like, oh, okay, I have to do this now and then I have to do this now. Whereas like with them, it's kind of just like a bunch of dudes get together and maybe there'll be like one or two outside influences that aren't in that room. But I feel like a lot of it, most of it is probably coming from a conversation that everyone's having in that room that took you like 3 or 4 different hours across the day, that at weird time intervals that were like all pretty much solved in a 45-minute talk in a room with a bunch of people. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that adds up. I feel like the remote version of this is way harder than, and I know that they're all working remote now because of the pandemic, but I think still,
like, you know, they still have a team of editors you know, and they still have people working the social media actively. People still actively, you know, making plans and arrangements for other things. And, you know, say what you will, like whether you like the Game Grumps or you don't, or there's things that you don't care for. They're an incredibly well-oiled machine and great people that manage to retain. They just, I don't know. It's seeing that made me think, and with Matt and Ryan and everything, just seeing all of that, just I think sometimes fills me with excitement or motivation, and I need to find sort of forgiveness for myself when my current reality places walls and ceilings at a certain level. You know, my ceiling is way lower financially than certain people's, or my walls are a lot closer in terms of realm of things I can possibly do, and I can't delegate to a whole lot of people, a whole lot of things. So maybe I shouldn't put so much pressure on myself, and I'm trying to overcome it, man. My therapist is trying to help me overcome it. My girl is trying to help me overcome it. I know it sounds like such a silly thing, but it's a thing that haunts me. It's this feeling of guilt when I don't do things.
It's not silly. I don't think that's silly at all. I think that's a very like real, like understandable like anxiety.
Thanks, man. Yeah, because it feels like I feel guilty a lot of the times. Even if, like, let's say I'll work on something for 6 hours straight, which I usually work more than that per day, each day. Like, I don't really take days off anymore, which is not good for my family life. But I don't really take days off. And even on the days when I'll work a little less, as I said, if I work 6 hours, I'll feel bad because there'll inevitably be something that's still left unaddressed or not done. And I have no one to blame but myself, you know. I blame myself for not finishing those things, or whether I blame myself for taking so much on. And so I just need to start reprogramming the way that I think. And I think it's cool that I'm happy that I have a lot of ideas. I'm glad that I'm able to be motivated by like something really small and try to come up with something big from it. I'm not gonna try to kill that part of myself. I just need to find a way to also be a little more realistic about certain things. It doesn't mean like, wow, you're shooting too high, Rav. No, it's more like, okay, that's a great idea, but you've also got this on your hands right now. So maybe, like, you know, don't squeeze it into your schedule if it's so packed so tight as is. Or maybe stop doing something else if you find that this is more important than this something else. You know, just kind of reorganizing things and managing myself in a healthier way. Because ultimately, I want to do all these things, but I also don't want to accidentally kill myself in the process.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you can't. I mean, like, it's like, okay, you could sit here and try to take on the entire world and do a bunch of things at one time. And, like, probably in that regard, you will be more productive because even if you accomplish half of what you're setting out to do, it'll be more than you would have normally, you know?
Right.
But on that same token, like, sure, you can be productive and it could be good for this and it can be good for that. But at the same time, then, like, you're sacrificing your own mental health to try to do the whole world at one time, which I just don't think you can do. Not in the sense of that you can't do it. Like, you can do it, but, like, I've seen you do it. Like, I've seen you do a lot of stuff, like, at one time, and I'll be like, damn, how the fuck is he doing all this? You know? Like, but I also know that during those times where you were, like, really, really, especially when you were, like, editing all the time and all that stuff, like, I mean, like, we were talking a lot more regularly then because we were also recording a lot then. Like, it wasn't just like the once a week thing we do.
Right,
we were doing like every day.
4 or 5 days a week, yeah.
Yeah, 4 or 5 days a week, yeah. And I could just tell from my interactions with you that you were just like tired all the time, or like you weren't like there as much. You know what I mean? And like, I mean, I was fine, but I was kind of worried about you because like I knew that it was like so much stuff at one time, like recording all that and editing it and keeping up with everything and the releases and everything like that. It just seemed like it was, I mean, obviously it was a lot. We got an editor, like, you know, but I was a little bit worried about you then, but we were talking so much and it was like we were like going through the steps of like, okay, we're recording now. And I mean, I look back on those times very fondly because we did a lot, especially going back and looking at them, you know, like watching those old videos, and also feeling like we've gotten better since then, you know, also just in general, like talking to each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think that I also look back on the time. I refer to that era as the dogs era. The dogs era is what the dogs are barking. Because that's dogs are barking, and that was like my least favorite thing was recording in that house, like with the dogs and all that. Like I was just like, oh man, that was rough.
Yeah, that's
not
so
actually like, because it was just like everything was so like not optimal. Like it was just like me in a bedroom. The bedroom sounded like way worse than this one already. And then like on top of that, it was like I had to like set up my laptop was really loud and I had to be close to my laptop, unlike now where I have a monitor. And so like it would just be like me talking, and in the background you should the whole time, and then you got to edit that out. Now my audio sounds worse than yours because of that. And then like on top of that, every 2 seconds I'm sitting there yelling at my dogs to shut up.
Right. Yeah, no, the dog era was rough. It was tough for you to be under the same roof.
Yeah, it was tough.
You know,
no, I feel much better recording in this environment, especially because everything is like already like, there's one thing that I was trying to learn how to be more productive, and they were talking about musicians to always like leave your instrument like set up to play, you know, and like, you know, if you play guitar, put it out there. But then like also in a sense of like what I've been doing up until now is just I've not been moving my laptop. I've been leaving it in this place. So if I want to come do something on my laptop, I have to be in like the studio environment, you know?
Yeah, that's perfect.
And then when I'm in there, I'm way more likely to like open up FL in here that I have it like hooked up to my speakers and like all that stuff. I'll be like, hell yeah, let's make some stuff. And I've made so much music, like beats, and wrote a lot and like worked on my album, etc., just from doing that. And that's helpful in its own right. And also setting up is way easier in here. Well, today it wasn't because I had to hobble in here, and also my mic thing came off of my table, but I figured it out. But like, I don't know, it's just way better. It's way better.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I honestly, I'm envious of you in that regard, because my setup is always just a laborious process to set up and then take apart each time. I don't have just something set up. So if I need to record a song, it's like, okay, sweetie, do you mind if I kick you out of the room? You know, and then setting everything up. And then by the time you're set up,
that's always weird.
Yeah, it's weird, man. I live in a small apartment, right? So it's...
Yeah, but you should never... The thing that's fucked up about that is, like, you should never feel guilty about doing something like that, but it makes you feel guilty, because I know what that feels like. But at the same time,
it's like I'm stopping whatever this other person is doing, you know, the love of my life, and kind of I'm excommunicating them almost, and...
Yeah, go to your room.
Yeah, go to your room. Or so I mean, there's that, and also by the time you've set up, maybe you're already out of your energy, or maybe you had the spontaneous idea, and the spontaneity is kind of dissipated, you know. Whether it's dissipated or not, it's like sometimes it's a matter of just hitting record, trying something out, and be like, okay, cool, I get it, or like, didn't quite work the way I imagined it would. Anyway, moving on. But now I have to put everything back away just for this quick test, so that's why I don't even do it for that I feel like this is modern day bedroom equivalent of in the 90s studio time. You know, you're gonna get an hour of studio time for $100 or whatever. So you go in there already, your lyrics memorized, and you're gonna be recording 3 to 4 songs on the day, and then grabbing those raws and taking them home with you. And that's what it feels like. After the song, I usually like don't go into recording unless I have at least 3 or 4 songs written and ready to record. Doesn't mean I'll get to all of them, but at least I know that, okay, this is gonna be worth it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same kind of way though, because like, I mean, I don't, usually when I go to record something, I feel like I have already in my head what it's gonna sound like, and it's not really like a test. It's more of just kind of like, usually I know what I want out of the thing before I go into it. And so like, it's a little different from the perspective of like, sometimes I let stuff stack. Like I'll be like, okay, I've got like 4 verses. Let me wait till I have 6. And then I'll like record all of them at once, because it's like, I'm doing it. I'm going to make it like a day thing, you know, like, oh, like I'm just going to do this for like 4 hours, 5 hours, and just like be done with a bunch of shit, you know? Actually, I say that I usually start with that in mind, and then I stop like halfway through. Yeah. I feel better doing it like that. But I do kind of miss, and I think it's not really something I miss because I could still technically do it, the whole aspect of like just sitting down and like trying weird shit on audition, you know, like singing or stuff that's like kind of outside of my comfort zone. There was that period where I did a whole bunch of stuff where I was like screaming, like shit like that. You know, like I like that, and I like that I can do that here without like disrupting my household. You know what I'm saying? Like that's nice.
Right, yeah.
But I don't do it as much as I used to, because I feel like now I'm like, okay, like I know what I want out of this, you know, and so I just kind of like let it stack and then just do them all at once. But yeah, dude, that sounds awful though. The idea of like having to set up and break down. I know that was like why you were trying to like build a like studio, etc.
Yeah, I know. And like then I kept bouncing between the idea of like, should I build a studio or not? And ultimately went with no, even though I knew the investment was going to be pretty big. It was going to be like 20 grand or something, 20, 30 grand. I just kind of started looking at it from the point of, well, is this investment worth it long term? Because I don't intend to stay here forever. And in fact, I intend to move in about 2 years. And so maybe I'll just, you know, stick with what I've been doing, and then, you know, hopefully the next place is where I'll be able to set up a permanent studio.
Hopefully what happens is you make a record that you're working on, it blows up and you get paid billions of dollars. And then you can buy a cave and record in the cave.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, my current plan is like in the next home is to just have, you know, a studio room and having 2 different sections. One for music, the whole thing set up there, and one separate one for recording our podcast, Let's Plays, etc. Because it's a separate set of equipment for me, you know. At this point, having that separate setups for my music and for what we do outside of music, even streaming and stuff like that, you know, is very convenient. And I definitely want to have like a really comfortable couch thing, because that's the other thing I really loved about the Grumps office, is like that couch was so fucking comfortable, and and it was just like, that's what I want. I want to be really comfortable when we're doing our podcast or we're playing games, or maybe even when I'm streaming, and just kind of having that. So yeah, working towards that.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, that'd be nice. I never even like thought about that aspect until you just brought it up, because like, even I've been trying to make my studio spot more comfortable in that I bought a chair, like that wasn't like a shitty chair. Like I went out to Staples and bought like a pretty nice chair, and which has been great, by the way. I love it. but the idea of like being able to like sit back and be like super comfortable, because like even right now, like us recording, like I'm sitting here kind of like hunched over in front of my mic like some kind of weirdo,
right?
You know, it's a lot different than what they have going on. And I think a lot of that comes from, like you said, it was like the mics that they use and the type of like setup that they have. It's like set up for like multiple people. It's like very like, oh yeah, it's got this comfy couch, got all these mics in front of it. They're kind of like out of the way of you. Like you can see pretty well still.
Like right now, it's so comfortable. I'm actually recording on my laptop for the first time ever since we started the podcast. And it's right in front of me. And afterwards, when we're playing games or I'm watching you play games, it's right in front of me. The microphone is not in my view at all. And so that already gives me that level of comfort. But no, my you know, I don't have, my chair doesn't even have wheels, the one I use for this, you know?
Right.
It's just like a kind of like a sturdy old school chair, which is comfortable. And I don't think I ever plan to stream for longer periods than 2 hours at a time.
Yeah.
But still, it's not the best. I really loved the couch that they had at the Grump's office. I probably, you know what, I probably wouldn't use the couch for streaming, but I would at least use it for the podcast and us playing games, because that just seems like a more comfortable thing. And then having a separate world, like a separate corner for music, like the stood up mic stand, you know, so I had to stand up and get in front of it and everything, and it's all set up as well. That would be so good, because then I can separate those two worlds as well. You know, it sounds like such an arbitrary thing, but it's kind of like when you work at home, you need to designate a corner to like what you consider work, so that your work and your personal lifestyle don't blend together, you know?
Yeah, that was like one of the issues that I had at the old place I was recording, because like it was in my bedroom, and I feel like so much happier that like I always was like, yeah, dude, I always want to record in my bedroom, like, and work in my bedroom and do everything in my bedroom, because it's like, oh, I'm a bedroom rapper, blah, 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 right? But like,
that's your microcosm.
One of the problems that I was having was, like, I was editing like in bed a lot, and so like I think like when like the podcast or just mixing or whatever at the time, I was doing everything like in bed, and then like you psychologically no longer associate your bed with sleep. It becomes like you associate it with like awake time when you do that, and it was like really, really fucking with my sleep cycle. Like really bad. Like when I was still staying up at, like now, I mean, obviously now I still stay up late because like I've always been like a night owl, but like there was a time period where it was like, it was very regular for me to like go to bed at like 6 a.m. and wake up at noon, like, and then feel like shit all day, you know?
Yeah.
And it was like, that's gone down a little bit too. Also, like, it's weird. Let me ask your question on this, because like you've been living with your girl for a long time. When you first moved in with her, did you like change your sleep cycle at all, or did it like get better?
Oh yeah, it got way better. I mean, we kind of had a similar-ish sleeping cycle in the sense that we both worked the same job.
Yeah.
So, you know, we'd kind of be forced into that, but on the weekends, she used to wake up way earlier than I did, because on Friday I would like, you know, stay up real late and stuff like that prior to her moving in with me. So I adapted to her schedule, which was just healthier. It's kind of like waking up around the same time each day and going to sleep around the same time each day. And we sort of do that now. The difference is we go to sleep at the same time, but I fall asleep couple or few hours after she does, ordinarily. Not always, but ordinarily, because she'll fall asleep. I'll pull my phone out and I'll write lyrics or something like that, you know, work on something.
Yeah.
But then in the morning, we wake up around the similar-ish time, but she gets out of bed at least half an hour before me, usually. I'm really bad at getting out of bed, and she's really good about it. Even if she's a bit sleepy, she'll just like force herself to stand up, pull the curtains open the window, and start preparing breakfast or something. Meanwhile, I do the unhealthy thing of reaching over, grabbing my
Grabbing the phone. Dude.
And then being
That'll
in
get
bed
you.
for half an hour to an hour, just scrolling through Twitter, and which, by the way, oftentimes makes my day worse. You know,
Yeah,
just
no, it's a
doing
thing.
that, like, you'll see shit, people's opinions and everything, things that usually don't bother you because it's like, oh, it's a stupid opinion. This person might be stupid or just made a stupid mistake, whatever. In the mornings when you see so much of it, and it's the first thing you see, it's just like, why I fucking hate Twitter. I fucking hate everybody. Everyone's, you know, so there's, it's just not healthy. And just go gravitating to your phone and, like, in general, is not a healthy thing. I usually go for the news when I go with my phone, but I get a lot of my news from Twitter moments and stuff like that. So I inevitably end up like, oh, okay, well, what's going on with everybody else, you know? What has Bill tweeted last night? Or what is it? Because I'm based in UK, in the UK, what makes the experience of social media different for me is that I wake up and I see what's happened during the night. For you guys, it was still evening, so it's when Twitter's very active in the States is when I'm usually asleep.
Oh yeah, so you kind of get like a retroactive of like what's going on.
So I see like, what have I missed? It's like, yeah, I get to look into the past that I didn't get to participate in. That's why a lot of people are like, you know, I'll tweet like good morning tweets at let's say like 11 a.m. EST. Or sometimes I haven't done that in weeks, but sometimes I used to do that, and people would be like, Rap, what, are you fucking waking up at 4 p.m.? And it's like, no, I've been up, but saying good morning to my actual, like, followers and audience, like the majority of them, you know? Not saying, hey, if you're not in the States, you're not a follower. I'm just talking about stat-wise.
The majority of people, like, it's like a good chunk of people. It's like just when everyone's waking up there. But, like, I never post a good morning anything now because, like, well, not just because like I wake up a little bit later in the day in general, but like I've noticed that anytime you put good morning, someone has to say something about the time, and it bothers me. Like no matter what, like I can post good morning at like 9 a.m. my time, and then someone will be like, "Are you just now waking up?" And I'm like sitting here like, "Aren't you in the UK?" Or somewhere like that, like in my head, but I don't know that person, and then it's just like a weird interaction, and I just don't like them anymore because
right, yeah,
you know what I mean?
I see what you're saying, and for me, it's frustrating because it's like, well, yeah, I didn't just wake up, you know, like who gives a shit when I woke up, like just but even then, you see, even that kind of stuff, I've been like, I think less active on social media the last few weeks. I think it's because I've also been having this bout of depression, and sometimes I end up associating Twitter with work. Like people will DM me things like, "Hey, can you help with this? Can you help with that?" And it's I don't want to explain that I'm depressed. I don't want to explain that I already have such a huge list of things to do for myself and my personal life. I don't want to fucking do that. And on that note, ad time. Bill, I need to tell you this
tell
one.
me quick.
This one. Hurry.
Hit me with it.
Bill, you ever be on the beach?
No.
Cool. On the beach with your girl, and you're like, hell yeah, here I am in my swimming trunks. Got my towel ready, got my shades, my hat.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Other
all those things,
you know.
Yeah.
The drugs in my pocket.
The piss in my balls.
You know, you're just walking around, but your girl, she just sees you and she like slaps you across the ass. You know?
Happens
she's
all
like,
the time.
Yeah. She's like, ooh.
Staking
like,
her claim,
like, yeah, like she's just doing, she's asserting her like.
She does like the ooh yeah.
Ooh yeah. Step into a Slim Jim. And you're like, look, I appreciate it, but I'm not just a piece of meat, right? Well, do I have the product for you? Look no further than wired boxer. Let me do that again. Barbed wired swimming trunks. So
thanks.
Now your swimming trunks inside, they are laced with barbed wire. So next time that your girl attempts to slap you across the ass, my hand is bleeding now real bad. Maybe I ought to not do that.
Yeah. I mean, well, like, I need to know, man. Tell us about the technology.
It's barbed wire inside a pair of swimming trunks that you wear.
I have a few questions. Does the barbed wire stick you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, is there a way to minimize that?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, let's talk about it.
You know, like the barbed parts of the barbed wire that are like sticking to like in you, like trying to dull those edges or put something that stabs something onto them, like pieces of, like little cherries or something, you know, or strawberries.
Little cherries.
Or strawberries, you know, cherries or strawberries. And then just putting that and just being careful to not accidentally flip the barbed wire when you walk around, so that it does those sharp edges don't, because you don't want what you don't want to happen is have the barbed wire pointing in your ass and the strawberries out, and then your girl slaps you across the ass. No harm to her because she's hitting a bunch of strawberries, and a lot of pain for you. Yes.
Yeah, and she's got blood and strawberry juice on her because of the blood from your already open wounds.
no pain for her though. Yes,
and it pushes it deeper down in when she slaps you. Wouldn't it make? I'm just throwing this out there. Wouldn't it make more sense to just have one side be barbed wire and the other side be like chicken wire or something? Wouldn't that make more sense?
Gonna talk to him?
Yeah, dude. What's up, man? What's up? What's going on?
Dude, what the fuck? What are you doing?
What do you mean? What am I doing?
I'm sponsor.
I know, but like,
why are you crazy?
Why the fuck would they put barbed wire on both sides, dude? It's stupid as fuck.
Do I give a fuck? You think?
Yeah, you should, dude.
You think? Oh wow, MeUndies is the best fucking product in the universe? Fuck no, none of these products are fucking awesome. Yeah, they all have faults.
You mean to tell me? Are you telling me that Matt and Ryan lied about the quality of MeUndies when we were on there?
No, you know they look.
Are you saying it's? I'm just saying this is a pretty glaring flaw in a thing that you think would be very simple.
Look, why don't you send them an email saying all of these things, and perhaps maybe applying for a job, you know, over there, giving them advice on such things. Go and do it on our podcast after they've agreed to sponsor us. It's just not the right time or place for it, Bill.
Can I ask you a question, like a personal question real quick?
Yeah, why not?
Are you getting paid from this?
I think there's
listen.
I think there's lag between us, Bill. I can't really hear. Let's go back.
The reason why I'm asking, hold on. No. My question is because we've been doing ads for 81 episodes. 81 episodes.
Well, on and off, you know. There's been episodes where we didn't have sponsors.
Okay, so let's just say like 70 episodes. Sure. We've had ads. And I just haven't seen like a single cent from any of that. And I was just wondering like if that was like going to you or like somebody else, you know. I was just could you clear that up for me?
It's a really good question, but I'm gonna have to really give it some thought.
Okay. All right.
So back to the product. Guys.
No. I'm not done yet, dude. I'm not. Where is the money going? If I'm not receiving the money in my account, then where is the money? What sponsors? What's going on? Who are these people? Where did you find these sponsors, dude? Where are they from?
Yeah, there's definitely lag. Definite lag.
There's lag because you don't have an answer for all these
Yeah, Bill, you're definitely, there's got to be some sort of lag because you're absolutely unintelligible right now.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if you can even hear me, man.
Yeah, I can. I can hear you right now as we're talking. Right.
All right.
I can
So
hear
thank
everything.
you to our sponsors for the wonderful product and the money. So, wow, what a good time. Bill, we're friends, right?